We get together every Tuesday at my home. I'm Jason McLaughlin, a celebrity makeup artist, and a group of friends and I get together every Tuesday and discuss things that are going on in the world today, topics that affect us on a day-to-day basis, and our families and friends and the community.
Yeah. Hi, welcome to the Dish. I'm Joe. Yeah, I like that you did that. Do you talk like that all the time? You introduce yourself to people?
I do.
Okay. Hi, welcome to the Dish. I'm Joe, and I'll be just a part of this conversation all night long. You weren't here last week. Tell me who you are.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Bonet, and I'm dishing the dish as well.
Wow. I'm Al Thomas, and I'm one of the panelists here at the Dish. One of my close friends of Jason's.
As you see, it's very informal here. We just talk and dish, but there does have to be a little bit of structure, which these, the rest of them are not used to. I'm the only one that has any experience with structure.
Oh, for real?
That's why you interrupted Mario's introduction.
Mario.
That's my name. I'm Mario, as Jason just said, and I'm a part of the panel as well. Now,
as was stated earlier by Joe, or Naisha, or Al, excuse me, Jasmine and Al weren't here on the last time we got together, but they're here with us now. This will be our normal panel, our normal Tuesday evening event. But we'll jump right into the incident that happened this past week on The View with Joy and Bill.
Oh, I love The View.
It's a great show. So the conversation got really heated on The View when Mr. Bill O'Reilly was there, and Joy ended up walking off, and Whoopi pretty much cussed him out and ended up leaving too.
No, she left before she could curse him.
Oh, she left before. So she didn't say the bullshit part to him, or while he was there.
What?
I'm wrong. Jason said, "Are we allowed to cuss?"
I mean, are we allowed?
We were repeating.
Are we allowed to repeat on air?
Yeah, we are allowed.
Well, if not, they got a bleep. They can.
Okay, well, I mean, I didn't know what market we was targeting. I'm not gonna be bleeping, but.
But that's what we want. We want you to be you.
Be yourself.
Okay. I just
Well,
wanted to make sure.
to catch everybody up to speed, what they're talking about is Bill O'Reilly was on the show, The View, and, you know, he got into a confrontation with the cast members on The View, and they were talking about, you know, should the Muslims be able to build this mosque next to Ground Zero. So he was saying that they should not, because 70% of Americans don't want them to build the mosque there. But Whoopi and Joy, they were like, well, you know, it's their right. It's their constitutional right. You know, they have a right to build this mosque wherever they want to build it. But because some people are sensitive to that particular area and that particular site, that it still don't mean that we have a right to take away their right to build the mosque there. So then it was like, well, 70% of Americans don't want them to build it there. And it was like, well, where is that? Where is that survey? I want to see that survey. So then Whoopi was like, well, why? If it's their constitutional right, why shouldn't they be able to build there? And he's like, because the Muslims bombed us on 9/11, and that's when everything was like, whoa, no. And that's when Whoopi said, like, that's bullshit. And he's like, well, no. She said, well, what are you talking about, the Muslim? He said, no, it wasn't. She said, it wasn't the Muslim, it was the extremists. So then he was like, no, the Muslims, they bombed the Trade Center on 9/11, they blah. And then Joy said, well, you know, I'm not going to sit here and listen to him talk like this, because he is just, you know, telling lies. This is not, you know, what happened, and I'm not going to sit here and be a part of this, because if I sit here and partake in this conversation and let him say these things, it's like I'm agreeing with what he's saying.
Exactly.
So when she got up, Whoopi got up, and they both left out. So then Barbara, she got kind of upset with them because they left out. She's like, that shouldn't have happened. Let me just tell you, what you just witnessed shouldn't have happened, because, you know, we should be able to sit here and talk as adults, and, you know, express our different viewpoints without, you know, just shouting and talking over each other and wiping our hands with it and walking off. And so it's like, you know, then she turned to Bill around and she was like, well, you know, you cannot disrespect, a whole community of people because it was not. He said, I'm not disrespecting. She said, yes, you were. Yes, you were. He said, I'm not disrespecting them. And so he said, well, if anybody feels like I disrespected them or I was being disrespectful, then I apologize. That was not my intent. So after he did that, Joy and Whoopi came back.
Okay. And unfortunately, I didn't actually see the episode that day, but I did see clips on the news the next day because it was a big story.
Yeah, it was everywhere.
And obviously, from what I saw, the clip that I saw, it did get really heated. So for Barbara to, in my opinion, for Barbara to take the stance that, you shouldn't have laughed and so on and so forth. I mean, it did get pretty heated. So if they shouldn't have laughed, I mean, you can say yes or no, but something maybe should have been done perhaps to stop him if he was the guest on the show.
Right.
And he became that belligerent from what I saw,
And that's the problem that I had. It's just like I had kind of felt like Rosie O'Donnell when she said that Barbara didn't take up for her when all the stuff went on with her and Elizabeth.
Yeah.
I kind of felt the same way because Bill O'Reilly, he came out and he was being very disrespectful, I felt, to Joy. Because, she was talking.
No, the whole cast. The whole cast.
Yeah, the whole
When he
cast.
came out, the way he greeted them all.
Yeah.
He wanted to cut the time. He didn't want to do any greeting. He said, cut the time off so we have more time to discuss whatever. So he didn't do the typical hug or he embraced them there. And then Joy was speaking and he busted out Joy.
So he came out disrespectful. How you going to come to my house and tell me you're not going to hug me and greet me at the door? Well, you're not coming in.
Well, he was promoting the book. What is it, Pinheads and Patriots?
Okay.
Pinheads and Patriots.
Pinheads and Patriots. You saying that at some point, later he said that at some point we've all been a pinhead or a patriot. But on the cover, it's himself and Obama.
He's a bit of an extremist. Now, and I will say too, though, that it is that whole topic to me. I'm not really comfortable with it. I'm not really sure about how I feel about them building it there myself personally, because although it's not everyone, those groups of people were the people that did it were a part of that group. So, I mean, I can see where some people would be upset and take issue with that.
But no,
well,
the
same way you don't want people to group you together and say black.
Yeah.
Right.
When they say how different blacks act different ways.
Right.
That's the same way that they were taking offense because they came on later to say that Kareem and Muhammad Ali were Muslims.
Right.
They didn't attack us.
Right.
So that was the problem because it's like the Muslims didn't bomb, the Trade Center. It was the extremists, and that's what Whoopi was trying to get them to say. So like you sitting on here and you just, feeding this stuff to folks, and it's not even factual. You know that you're sitting up here and you're just, taking advantage of a situation that's not true. Tell the truth. If you're going to talk about that, and you're gonna take away these people's rights, then tell the truth why you want to take them away. Otherwise, we don't have a right to take away their right to be able to build the monster.
It's kind of, I guess, like the extreme Muslims, that extreme group of Muslims, which it is, because I remember in history studying about that and learning about, the different types of Muslims, and those are the extremists that do the terrorist attacks. I guess it would be the same as the things that are even going on in the in churches right now with, priests and pastors and, young boys that, are you going to group all pastors? So I guess I can see that where that would be, you can't necessarily group them all together.
I can't stand when people do apologies and say, if you feel that I offended you, then I'm sorry. No, your apology should be, I am sorry.
Right.
That I offended, or that I made this statement to group different people. Because if you feel it's just like a political way of saying I'm sorry, but you really did.
Right. All right, we'll be right back after this short break.